Okay, class, get your notebooks out, have your coffee ready, your water ready, your wine ready, your tea ready, whatever. Get ready. This is how to build your brand phase 2 strategy. All right, as you guys know, I've been saying this from the beginning. This is literally my favorite part of building a brand because it is the backbone of your business. This is the thing that has the most amount of longevity because of the principles that live within it. This is what your problem is, how you're solving it. This is who is your target audience, your ideal consumer. Brand strategy is about what your big vision is for this and what is your mission to wake up every day to strive to accomplish that vision. The value pillars of your business are basically the ethics, morals, and values that you do not stray from. And your value proposition is essentially your business in a nutshell. It makes a great elevator pitch. So those are all of the tasks that we are going to undertake in creating your brand strategy. So as I mentioned, the brand strategy really is the skeleton of your business. This is the thing that you can always point people to and say, regardless of what color we use, regardless of what we're called, this is who we are. These are things that we do not stray from. This is our core integrity, authenticity, heart, body, mind, spirit. It's all in there. Brand strategy, backbone of your business. We're going to be building off of the phase 1 research work that we have done. And as mentioned, we are always going to use Rec Center, my personal business, as the example to apply all of these exercises to. Kind of giving you guys a real application of how these tasks work. Let's go ahead and get into our problem statement. Net, a brand has a beginning, middle, and call to action. Obviously, there's an exit, but that doesn't matter so much right now. The beginning is clearly illustrating what the problem is. And this is why phase 1 was so important, because if you don't identify the opportunity at hand, you ultimately don't set yourself up for success in solving a very clear problem. When you try to solve a problem that isn't niche enough or isn't very clearly defined, it takes a lot longer for you to get traction because you're trying to be everything to everyone, which makes you nothing to nobody. So doing that research in phase 1 is imperative to that beginning part of a brand. The middle is all about our solution. How are we going to solve it? And our call to action is the ongoing messaging that engages consumers, revs them up, reiterates the value of your brand, and gets them to buy what you're selling. In phase 1, we dug into different pain points, contexts, the type of person who's experiencing this problem, what brands are currently in the market trying to capitalize on this, and where is there an opportunity to do better. When it comes to our problem statement, let's go ahead and extract information from that table. My main pain point is finding like-minded creative peers to exercise with as a means of socializing. And I started to experience this problem when I moved to New York City and craved meeting new people in fun, active ways. Other people, like 25 to 35-year-old creatives, also experience this pain point, and I find it hard that there isn't one place with multiple activity offerings. So we're going to take all of that bolded material and turn it into our problem statement. Creative Gen Z and millennials struggle to meet new people in active ways that cater to their love of sports. When you go through that exercise of creating that table, what you come up with your problem statement should feel elegant. It doesn't need to feel verbatim what was in this chart. Like, this chart is really internal. This is for your purpose of exploring, ideating what is needed to move forward with, and then making it a little bit more sophisticated with your chosen language. It's always good to try out a few variations, so let's see what I did. New York City Gen Z and millennial creatives are looking for community through sports, but struggle finding a place that offers variety. Young creatives in New York City are yearning to socialize through recreational sports, but lack a community that offers a variety of activities. Creative Gen Z and millennials struggle to make new friendships through their love of sports in New York City. Bingo. I liked that one. That's going to be my chosen problem statement. Creative Gen Z and millennials struggle to make new friendships through their love of sports in New York City. When it comes to our solution statement, it is easiest to just turn our problem statement on its head. Essentially, that's what we're doing, right? This is our very targeted problem that we've identified, and we are going to create an equally targeted solution that solves that need. So if our problem is creative Gen Z and millennials struggle to make new friendships through their love of sports in New York City, our solution is a New York City recreational sports community for creative Gen Z and millennials to find activities, clubs, and one another. Your solution should expand upon your offering. So get creative here. What are the non-negotiable products, services, experiences that you're providing to consumers that needs to be part of your solution? Bada bing, bada boom, solution statement. It's always great to try variations of this, but in the interest of time and reading, I have not done variations of the solution statement. We saw that with the problem statement, but in the phase 2 strategy workbook that you guys have access to, you will be prompted to do variations, and I implore you to do that as well. Remember, regardless of the problem that you're solving, the key to any statement is to be clear. Keep it simple, keep it concise, keep it direct. You don't need to be fancy here. This is where people just want the essence quickly. Give it to them. Moving on to our target audience. Your target audience is the group of individuals that would most benefit from the product or service that you're offering with your business. So when it comes to creating a target audience profile, this is imagining who your ideal consumer is. A single individual with a name, a backstory, habits, interests, that sort of thing. And depending on how you're going about your business, the easiest way to start your target audience outline is just looking in the mirror. Most of the time, we start our brands because of needs that we currently experience or have experienced. So looking in the mirror and reflecting that back in a target audience profile is an easy way to go. But if you've identified a problem that is the need of someone else unlike yourself, this exercise is exactly the same. Just go off of the person who you're trying to help add value into their life. But it's the exact same. So just focus on the value that you're creating for them and outline them in the most descriptive way possible. And when I mean descriptive, we're going to be covering things like demographics. This is, age. What do they do for work? How much money do they make? Where do they live? And we have psychographics, which is what is their lifestyle like? What do they value and believe? What are their personal traits and motivations? And then we have our technographics. This isn't required, but again, the more detailed you can be, the better. It just creates the clearest picture possible and potentially unlocks new ways of communicating with your consumer. So technographics is this given group's device usage. Are they on Android or iPhone? Do they like YouTube or they only like Twitch? Are they on Discord or do they use WhatsApp? All of these different elements really illuminate how someone moves and shakes in the world and can inform you of where you need to show up. So maybe down the road, if you're going to create a community space that is a group chat and you know that everyone's on WhatsApp, not iMessages, WhatsApp would be, a good place for you to go. Let's go ahead and look at the ideal rec center member. This is Michelle T. Their pronouns are she, they, 26 years old. They live in Greenpoint in Brooklyn, New York. Full-time, they do social media management. They make $85K a year, and they also have some freelance income on the side because they're an aspiring photographer. They organize test shoots with their friends, have a multitude of creative passion projects that they work on, and their friends are either full-time employees in advertising or another type of creative professional in their chosen craft. They call themselves chronically online because they're always scrolling, but they love keeping up with other people. They post frequently on Instagram, especially on stories, but they also love TikTok and YouTube. Michelle hangs out in the Lower East Side on the weekends, shamelessly. Her friends would describe her as outgoing, active, and always down to try new things. Her favorite activities include tennis, chess, and soccer, and they're looking to meet people who are also creative and love playing physical and/or mental games. I dropped an image in of what Michelle looks and feels like, the types of friends that she has, and the type of, kind of vibe she goes for. You can also expand on this by saying these are the types of brands that they buy. Maybe Michelle loves Prada Sport, but really doesn't like Under Armour. The more specific that you can get with your target audience, the easier it becomes for you to identify places that you can show up and win their loyalty. Now that we know exactly who we're talking to, let's go ahead and see how our business is going to improve their life. And this lathers up to our vision and mission statement. These two statements are really internal compasses that help you make decisions and stay aligned to the core of why your business exists. And your vision statement in particular is really your pie in the sky, realistically achievable, even if it's far-fetched dream of what this business can be. So elements of a great vision statement include being future-facing. They have to be aspirational, something that feels just out of reach that pushes you forward every day to keep striving. Has to be motivational, gotta have gas in the tank to go the distance, and it must be clear. Again, as we remember, the best statements are the clearest. So when applied to Rec Center, when it comes to being future facing, we highlight the novel side of sports, games, and activities. We also like presenting players with activities that sit at that intersection of sport and culture. Something that's aspirational is that we make movement exciting and accessible to the creative class. Motivational, we infuse uniqueness and movement and connection unlike anywhere else. Lastly, our very clear final statement is our vision is to highlight the novel side of sports, games, and activities to make movement exciting and accessible to the creative class. By presenting players with activities sitting at the intersection of sport and culture, we infuse uniqueness and movement and connection unlike anywhere else. Bingo, bango, bongo, baby. Now we're going to piggyback off of that and go into our mission statement. By having this statement, it allows you to reflect on all of the decisions that you're making with your business to ensure that you are taking actionable steps to realizing that big vision, that blue sky dream for what your brand can achieve. Elements of a great mission statement include having your purpose, your target audience, the values of your business, what your core offering is, and, like everything else, having clarity. Let's apply this to Rec Center. Purpose: strengthening social health, where our human need for connection intersects our need for movement. Our target audience are Gen Z and millennial creatives. Our values are that we're diverse and we're very community driven. Our core offering is that we offer activities that sit at the intersection of sport and culture. And our clear final statement is our mission is to strengthen social health, where our human need for connection intersects our need for movement for Gen Z and millennial creatives through diverse, community-driven activities living at the intersection of sport and culture. So let's look at these side by side. Vision statement. Our vision is to highlight the novel side of sports, games, and activities to make movement exciting and accessible to the creative class. By presenting players with activities sitting at the intersection of sport and culture, we infuse uniqueness and movement and connection unlike anywhere else. Mission statement. Our mission is to strengthen social health, where our human need for connection intersects our need for movement for Gen Z and millennial creatives through diverse community-driven activities living at the intersection of sport and culture. They are essentially saying the same thing, but in different ways. The vision statement is less tethered to very specific things. We talk a little bit more generally about activities that sit at the intersection of sport and culture in the same way that the mission statement does, but we're more motivational, right? It's like highlighting the novel side. We want to create exciting and accessible activities, and we want to present players with that opportunity to engage with this epicenter of sport and culture. In a way that our mission statement is, we focus on strengthening social health. Anything that allows our human need for connection to strengthen simultaneous to our need for movement by tapping into these very sporty, culturally relevant activities is a win for us. So they should speak with one another, but they are innately different. All right, moving on to our value pillars. These are the principles of your business. They are the things that you should never stray from. This is your code of conduct, your ethos, and the thing that if someone were to describe your business would be like innovative. You know what? Humble. You know what? Exciting. Those type of things. They can be adjectives, and you can also spin them into short expressions like what I did here with Rec Center. And these value pillars should help illuminate the points of difference of your business. You know, one of the exercises that you did in the phase 1 research workbook was to do a SWOT analysis of competitors. And when you look at competitor brands, you can start to identify different traits and characteristics about them that adjectives naturally come to mind. Like if your competitor is innovative, what if your value pillar is future facing? They're essentially saying the same thing, but is there a nuance that you can derive from that? They are your non-negotiables and should help illuminate your unique point of difference. So let's look at Rec Centers. We have egos checked at the door, beginner's mindset required, and comradeship over competition. What we mean by this, it's always great to have a short description behind your value pillars, is egos checked at the door. No one person is above another. Beginner's mindset required, open-mindedness to learn from the game and from players. Comradeship over competition. We're here to connect and have fun versus battle for a trophy. You can have anywhere between 3 to 5 of these. Lesser is typically better, but don't sacrifice the true value of your business for the sake of having one pillar more or less than what I just said. These things all lather up into your value proposition. And your value proposition is another clear statement that uniquely describes your business's benefits to the consumer. why your product or service is so valuable and what differentiates your offering from competitors. It highlights what makes you especially unique. So a strong value proposition includes the problem solved, any key benefits, what sets you apart, and, shocking, clarity. So looking at Rec Center, the problem that we solve is that we connect creative Gen Z and millennials with the key benefit of like-minded peers. What sets you apart are novel activities sitting at the intersection of sport and culture. And then our clear final statement is that Rec Center connects creative Gen Z and millennials to like-minded peers through novel activities sitting at the intersection of sport and culture. If you were to pin me in an elevator and say, "What's Rec Center about? Go," I would say this statement. So your value proposition is the summation of what your business has to offer and how it offers it. Key benefits, sets you apart, problem solved, etc. So that is Rec Center's brand strategy in a nutshell. So let's revisit. Problem: creative Gen Z and millennials struggle to make new friendships through their love of sports in New York City. Solution: a New York City recreational sports community for creative Gen Z and millennials to find activities, clubs, and one another. Our target audience is a person named Michelle. They go by they, she, or she, they. They're 26. They live in Brooklyn. They're a full-time social media manager. They rake in $85K a year. They also do some freelance work that brings in some additional income because they do photography on the side. They like organizing test shoots with friends and take on a multitude of creative passion projects. Their friends are similarly creative in a professional capacity, if not have their own passion projects. They post a lot on Instagram, but they love TikTok and YouTube. Michelle likes to hang out in the Lower East Side. Her friends would describe her as outgoing, active, spontaneous. Her favorite games include tennis, chess, and soccer, and she wants to meet people who are also creative and love a game. Our vision statement. Our vision is to highlight the novel side of sports, games, and activities to make movement exciting and accessible to the creative class. By presenting players with activities sitting at the intersection of sport and culture, we infuse uniqueness and movement and connection unlike anywhere else. Mission statement. Our mission is to strengthen social health, where a human need for connection intersects our need for movement. For Gen Z and Millennial, here we go. Let's correct that S situation one more time. For Gen Z millennial creatives through diverse community-driven activities living at the intersection of sport and culture. Value pillars. We check those egos at the door because no one person is above another. Beginner's mindset is required because open-mindedness to learn from the game and from other players is imperative. Comradeship over competition. We're here to connect and have fun, not battle to the bone for the trophy. And last but not least, we have our value proposition. Rec Center connects creative Gen Z and millennials to like-minded peers through novel activities sitting at the intersection of sport and culture. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Bada bing, bada boom. The way that this typically gets packaged up is in something called a brand strategy deck. When you go and buy this course on how to build a brand, part of what you'll have access to are 2 deck templates. One is this brand strategy deck, and the second is a brand guidelines deck that covers pretty much everything in the identity phase, which is phase 3 next week. So with every phase that we go through in this How to Build a Brand series, there is a corresponding workbook. I want you to apply the learnings and actually have this be building your brand so you can launch it by the end of 2024. So the phase 2 strategy workbook takes what we just covered in the course and expands it to have way more questions and exercises for you guys to apply your learnings to and make relevant to your personal brand. So we cover all of those different tasks: the problem, the solution, our target audience, our vision statement, our mission statement, our value pillars, and of course, our value proposition as well. And I'm going to have all of the links to this course and all of the workbooks in the caption below. So if you're serious about building your brand, got to do it the right way. You don't want to have to do this work twice, and I'm really excited to provide you with the template and kind of virtually guide you by hand through each one of the steps that it takes to get there. Invaluable resource. If you're looking to purchase, you're just going to hop over to my site. It's ssugarman.com, baby. You're going to hit digital goods, and here you're going to see the full offering of the How to Build a Brand world. We have all of our different workbooks here. We have the course in and of itself, which is this document that will be made available at the end of December when the course is truly complete. But you can go in and click on the Phase 2 Strategy Workbook. It's $7, and you actually get a lot more than just the workbook itself. You get access to our Discord community where you can ask questions, share your experience in filling out the workbook and building your brand. And you get access to our weekly call. It happens every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, where folks who have done the strategy work come together on a call with me, ask questions, share. It's all in real time and it's an hour long. Next week, we're going to tackle phase 3, identity. This is putting makeup on the pig, so to speak. Every phase drops on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so be sure to not only like and subscribe to this video, guys, come on, that's obvious, but put on your notifications for my channel. That way when it drops, you're ready to go. You can get the workbooks and you can get a head start on the materials as well. Until then, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and I will see you here next week. Bye!